Hello students, this is Mrs. Jennings and today I'm going to be answering your questions. I got 9 questions from the English major first grade students this year and I'm going to answer all 9 of them. Alright, so let's get started. First, this question comes from Unsa and it says, "Where are you from? I'd like to know your experiences at SNFL and special memories which you made with seniors." Okay, so the first part is where am I from? I was born in England and raised in the United States. So I'm American, but my birth certificate is British. And in the United States, I moved a lot growing up, but mostly I lived in Maryland, Colorado, Ohio, and Illinois. All right, the second part of this question is about special memories with seniors. I think by seniors you must mean the students who were before you, your Sunday, right? So last year we had I felt like the speeches about their favorite songs was so meaningful. And when I listened to the students giving their speeches here in class, I just felt very moved, and like some of their speeches even made me cry because they were just so heartfelt, so real and genuine. And I like when students' speeches just really connect to who they are, and I just love it. So every year there's some things like that. The other thing was the music videos. Oh my goodness, the music videos are so much fun, and I cannot wait to show you last year's students' music videos because they were great. They were so good. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go to the next question. Next, I have a question from Yajin. Okay, Yajin says, "I noticed the beautiful hanbok you're wearing in your profile picture. Do you have a special bond with Korea? What is it? I'd really like to know." Yes, actually I do have a special bond to Korea, and that would be my Korean husband. My husband and I have been married since 2009. We met even before that, 2 years before that, when I first came to Korea. And so yes, my husband gives me a very deep connection to this country because I love him and I love all of his family, and yeah, I just love this country. All right, let's go to the next question. I have a question from Sayan. Sayan says, "I want to know your main interest. What activity do you enjoy on your day off?" All right, it says on your day off. So actually what I love the most, I love teaching. Teaching is my favorite thing. But on my day off, when I'm not teaching, I guess it would be cooking. I like cooking, and I like experimenting with new recipes. I like watching cooking videos on YouTube and Netflix. You know the Nailed It show? Oh, I love it. I've watched them all. Anyway, yeah, so cooking is probably my main hobby outside of work. Right, let's go to the next one. I have a question from Juwon. Juwon says, "Ms. Jennings, I'd love to hear about when and why you decided to become an English teacher, since that's what I want to be when I grow up." Oh, Juwon is going to be an English teacher. That's great. All right, well, this one's a little bit of a long story, so bear with me. When I was in high school, like your age, I didn't know what I wanted to be. Actually, I had no idea. So when the guidance counselor asked me what I wanted to be, I usually said something like, I want to be an engineer, an electrical engineer. I said that because my dad's an electrical engineer and they have to do a lot of math, and I liked math. But I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I'm so glad that I didn't become an electrical engineer, sorry Dad, because teaching is really perfect for me. So here's what happened. When I was in high school, and the senior year of high school, my last year, I was getting ready to go to university, and I didn't know what I was going to study, but I did know that I wanted to go to university. I just didn't know what major. And so I decided to apply for scholarships. Scholarships are basically free money. So I applied for a lot of scholarships. I filled out applications, I wrote essays, and I didn't get hardly any. I only got one. And what's interesting is this particular scholarship that I got, and to apply for it, I had to write an essay about why I wanted to be a teacher. To be honest, before writing that essay, I had never thought about being a teacher before. But I thought about it, and I wrote an essay about why I wanted to be a teacher, and I won the scholarship. So then I had to go to dinner with these ladies, it was a group of older ladies that was giving this scholarship. It's a big scholarship, $1,000. So I went to dinner with them, and they gave me a check for $1,000 to use in university. And when I was looking at these sweet old ladies' faces, oh my goodness, that was the moment when I decided, hey, maybe I should study education and try to get a degree in teaching. I can always change it later if I decide that that's not what I'm interested in, but since I got this scholarship, I'll just study education. I'll start in that field. And I stuck with it, and by the time it was my last year of college, when I did student teaching, that's when I knew absolutely for sure, this is the perfect job for me. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. While I was learning about it, it was one thing, but then actually getting into the classroom and teaching, oh man, I just fell in love with it. It was wonderful. So if you're interested in teaching, what I recommend is that you would try teaching. Okay, so like maybe get volunteer at some local kindergarten or elementary school or something, and just practice teaching those kids and see how you feel. If you enjoy that, then this is probably perfect for you. And if you hate it, probably want to choose a different major. Okay, so that's it. So let's go to the next question. Okay, so this question comes from Ka-on. Ka-on says, why did you choose to teach here in SNFL? I want to know about advantages of this school. All right, so this question has two parts. I'll answer the first part first. Okay, so why did I choose to teach at SNFL? This is a very interesting story. So I was teaching at Sanbon High School in Gunpo before coming here. And when I was teaching in Sanbon, they cut the funding for native teachers in 2016. And interestingly, long before that happened, like 8 or 10 months before that, I was invited to speak about my teaching style to a group of Board of Education members, school administrators and English teachers. So they were all Koreans, and I was invited to speak in front of them and tell them about my teaching style. So I agreed to do so, and my co-teacher took me there. Now, 1 week before the speech, I found out the bad news that I was going to be losing my job at Sanbon High School. And so I told my co-teacher when we were on the way to the conference, and then I gave my speech, and it was so amazing. After the speech was done, 2 vice principals talked to my co-teacher because they wanted to hire me. They wanted to hire me at their schools. The 2 schools were SNFL and Suwon International High School. Not international, no, Suwon Foreign Language High School, that's what it was, Suwon Foreign Language. And I chose SNFL, honestly, because they were closer to Anyang, where I was living. The school it was easier to get to from where I lived. So that's why I chose SNFL at the beginning, and I'm so glad that I did, because I love this school. I love, love, love SNFL. And now I'm going to answer the second part. The second part is about the advantages of this school. Now, you are students, so I'm going to tell you the advantages that you will have as students at SNFL. Here at SNFL, when you graduate, you're going to have a lot of things on your school record that are going to help you get into a university that you want. That's because SNFL has a lot more contests and things than other high schools do. We have like speech contests, debate contests, just writing contests, creative writing, all kinds of things. So I recommend trying to enter as many of those as you can, because the more of those you have on your record, the better. Okay, so that's one advantage you have at SNFL. And what else is there? At SNFL, you are surrounded by the top middle school students in the area. Everyone at SNFL graduated kind of close to the top of their class, so you're surrounded by students who study hard. This is good. This is an advantage because it encourages you to study harder. When you're in an atmosphere where everybody around you is studying, it makes it easier for you to study as well. So SNFL has the advantage of having a good study atmosphere. And of course, there's a lot of other advantages, which I'm sure you will notice as you continue on at SNFL. We have the dormitory, we have 3 meals a day. All of these things are really good for students, but those are just some of the advantages of being a student at SNFL. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Next, I have a question from Songjae, or no, Songchae? Okay, Songchae. Hello, Ms Jennings. What is your advice for us to adjust well to this school? What a good question this is. Okay, I'm going to tell you, this is the best advice that I can give you, all right? When you were in middle school, you were probably at the top of your class. You were probably pretty good and you got pretty good grades, okay? But that's because you were at an average school. This school has the top from all the other schools. So you're competing against much higher level students. So please don't be shocked, don't be surprised when your first exam grades come back and they're a little bit lower than you expect, okay? That's normal. I want you to remember that a B at a foreign language high school is like an A at a regular high school, okay? Universities take into consideration that you are going to a foreign language high school. They recognize that. And so they will sometimes be okay with a slightly lower grade because they know that the curriculum here is much harder. All right, but here's my advice. Best advice you're gonna have, okay, guys, you ready? Don't compare your grade to other students. Do not compare your grade to other students. Compare your grade to yourself. So after the midterm exam, you write down those grades. And then your goal is not to beat the other students in your class. Your goal is to beat your score, okay? You focus on getting better yourself, improving yourself. Don't worry about what the other students are doing around you, okay? As long as your next exam grade is higher than your previous one, you're going in the right direction. Okay? So don't compare your grades to others, compare them to yourself. That is the best advice that I can give you that's going to help you at SNFL, because when you're looking at other people's grades, that will make you feel discouraged and it will be harder for you to do well. But if you're focused on yourself, that's something you can do. You can level up your grade as long as you're focusing on improving yourself. Okay? Don't worry about other people's grades. This question comes from Jubin. Jubin says, hello, Ms Jennings. You look like a very positive person. How can I be a positive person just like you? While I may often seem positive on the outside, sometimes, the truth is sometimes there are negative thoughts that come into my mind. Negative thoughts will kind of attack when you least expect it. These kind of thoughts are thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I can't do it, that sort of thing. And when these thoughts come into my head, the first thing I do is to pray. Prayer can sometimes help you to refocus your thoughts on what is actually true. God comes into your mind when you pray. You invite him into your heart and your mind to change your thoughts and show you what is true, who he really created you to be. And then another thing that you can do is to write those negative thoughts down. When you write them on a piece of paper, something interesting happens. You can see them written down. You can see them and you more easily can tell that they are not true. And if you're still struggling, if you still feel like they are true, bring them to someone who loves you and show them to that person. That person can help give you perspective and help you to see what the truth is. When your thoughts are lying to you like that, we call those cognitive distortions. Recently, I read a book that was very helpful in some very practical ways of overcoming these kind of negative thoughts. The book is called feeling good. And I recommend that if you're struggling with some kind of cognitive distortion, some kind of thoughts that are making you feel negative or depressed, pick up a copy of this book, maybe in Korean, because it's a very thick book, and look up what is the specific kind of cognitive distortion you're having, because there are 10 of them. What kind is it? And then just go to that section in the book, and there will be some practical tips about how to help you become more positive. Again, if you ever feel sad or depressed or anything, please come and talk to me. I'm happy to talk to you anytime, and I would like to hear what you're struggling with, and I would like to help you and try to encourage you as much as I can. Okay? All right, thank you, Jubin. All right, next we are going to have a question from Saul-Jin. Saul-Jin says, "Hi, Ms Jennings. What is the craziest thing that one of your teachers had done when you were in high school? Thank you." Wow. Let me think. Actually, in high school, when I was in high school, I didn't have very many unusual or strange teachers in high school. But right off the top of my head, I can think of a professor in my first year of university. He was Professor Arnold. Oh my goodness, Professor Arnold was hilarious. And he was so energetic and so into his lessons. To be honest, I think sometimes when I'm teaching, I think, am I turning into Professor Arnold? Because my lesson style sometimes sounds a little bit like his. So he may have shaped my teaching style a little bit. But the strangest thing that happened in Professor Arnold's class is one time a student who was sitting in the front row, their phone rang during class. So Professor Arnold walks over to the student, and he takes the student's cell phone and he's holding it up to his ear. He answers the phone and he continues teaching his lesson with the other person on the phone. And he just keeps teaching the lesson until the person hangs up. And then he acted all offended, like, "Oh, how dare they hang up on me?" And then gave the phone back. It was so funny. He had everyone in the class just rolling, laughing, trying to keep their laughter, and it was so funny. Anyway, that was the craziest thing that any teacher has done. Unfortunately, that was the first year of college, not high school. I didn't have very crazy teachers in high school, so not many unusual stories about that. But yeah, that's it. Thank you. Fun question. All right, then the last one is from Yejin. Yejin says, "Hello, Ms. Jennings. My question is, what is the most intolerable behavior when one of your students does?" Okay, so what is something that is intolerable? Okay, that a student does, something intolerable. All right, well, of course, when they take their cell phone to a bathroom, it's so disgusting. Ew, gross. Okay, don't take your cell phone in the bathroom, please. Please, don't be sitting on the toilet with your phone. Ugh, gross. But anyway, but there's something actually that's even more intolerable than that. I would prefer that you take your cell phone to the bathroom than do this, okay? The thing that I find the most intolerable is disrespect. And that's why respect yourself and others is my rule number one, because it is the most important thing in my class. I really absolutely hate it when students are disrespectful to me or to someone else in the class. Like if students are not letting one of the students, all of them are not letting one student be in their group, and so one student's left out. I hate that. That's so disrespectful. Or when they say unkind things to other students or make fun of each other or try to embarrass someone. I absolutely hate that. And to be honest, when you are disrespectful to someone else, that causes me as a teacher to lose respect for you. Here in high school, you're just 2 or 3 years away from voting age. So I treat you as adults. I respect you as adults in my class. But when you disrespect other people, that causes me to lose respect for you. Okay? So I really cannot tolerate disrespect in my class. So rule number one, respect. All right, and on that note, I'm out of questions. So I will see you guys later. I hope this video was fun and entertaining and that you were able to learn a little bit more about me and that it was interesting. All right, so I will see you in the next video or possibly in our Zoom class if we ever get that together. We will see. Okay, bye everyone.